Okay. Hey, I'm that girl goddess. Um, talking about, about a lot of young men out here while you're young. I'm gonna tell you, be careful what you do because that stuff do come back on you. And a lot of y'all consider yourself players and everything. And in this day and age, a lot of people have incurables, and not just that. A lot of people seeking God. God got judgment on the land. You'd be surprised because I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos and couples coming together, but a lot of people been coming unalive just going through relationships. And I'm talking to a lot of men. This is a warning that I'm giving to a lot of men from the Most High. A woman is not your equal, as in you getting ready to physically fight her. And God is going to begin to start dealing with a lot of men about this. Um, Crazy things will happen. But he is tired. See, I made a video a while back about infinite men. And it's a strategy of the enemy because the enemy deals with that homosexual spirit. And he starts off with first having you doing infinite things. He'll start you off like playing and you be like, girlfriend. And next thing you know, another spirit will add on to it. Next thing you know, you're polishing your nails. You're wearing 2 earrings. Okay. You doing your hair in somewhat of a feminine hairdo. Because see, nowadays these men got to have such long hair, these long dreads and the 2 French braids, but they doing it so feminine. And I tell people, be careful now because the enemy is subtle. He'll start doing things to you and you're not really recognizing it, but it's him. He done put some spirits on you. And he'll make you curious, have lust spirits start developing crazy fetishes like the back door. Okay. He'll start doing those things to men, women. He set y'all up too. Okay. And you'll start, next thing you know, you talking about I'm bi. And then from there, a lot of gay people tell you ain't such thing as bi. You undercover gay. And I tell people the devil is a lie. That's a spirit. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but I'm gonna tell you if you want to make it on the right side of God, you'll lay down that stuff. You'll start denouncing that stuff. I was watching a video and this pastor allegedly son said poster had touched this boy, McNutt, Pastor McNutt, TD McNutt. I hate to see the word T and D now together because there's so much craziness follows that. But the little boy eyebrows was arched and he had on light little makeup, and I was watching the video and I'm like, because when you look real close, he had eyeliner on his eyelashes long, but they had mascara on it. And I looked and I said to myself, so are they trying to make a little girl out of this boy? And it hurt me. And then when he went to school, he showed all these bruises and stuff. And a lot of us have went through that type of abuse coming up. And nobody will help. They'll say call child abuse, protective service. And when I was a little girl, they came out, they said they're not taking in no colored children. They didn't care. A lot of these people that's doing foster care are witches and warlocks on assignment. And I'm saying is they grooming a lot of these children. And I'm telling a lot of men, be careful, because it's a thing now that you get with this girl, you're supposed to be able to take her children too. And I look at people, even females, stop sending your sons places talking about you can't raise them. Yes, you can. If God put them in your hands, you can raise them. I raised so many boys to men that I just tell people, look, y'all listen to T.D. Jakes when he said a woman can't raise a man. Anybody who tell you that is a lie. You can do whatever God wants you to do. And when he put a male child in your hand, he knew you have the capabilities. He would have gave you the capabilities if you would have prayed and was persistent and consistent with things. He would gave you that to raise a man. Okay. And my boys are men. Okay. They're responsible, good looking men. Okay. They don't want to come in and play this and play that. No, they coming in with real manhood. And they'll tell you, I ain't got time to play all them games. They'll tell you that. They'll tell you that because they themselves say that they don't want to abuse their sister, their mama, it ain't in them to sit around and mistreat somebody. They say you can very easily talk to somebody and they'll agree to do some of the stuff that you want them to do, but they're not going to be doing that. They're going to let them know what they at, what they're doing, and this, and that. They're not going to be a liar. And I can respect that. But when it comes to taking care of their children and all of that kind of stuff, they let these women know. I'm going to take care of mine, you know. And I don't have no G babies, a whole lot of G babies. My son, he just recently made a couple. Okay, he take care of them. I acknowledge them. Whatever. But men, you sturdy putting heartbreak on these children. And I'm not even talking about so much of the finances. You know what you can do and what you should do. But I'm talking about going to see these children. And I know a lot of these mothers acting a fool. And I'm here to tell you, God's finna step in. Even with a lot of these females. And a lot of these men are getting custody of their children. And a lot more gonna get custody. Because a lot of these females allow their boyfriends to do anything to these children. These women in the church talking about they need a male mentor. You can't trust your children around nobody. Not just the girl children. I've been saying this for a while. The male children too. You cannot trust your children around people. And people get in their head and it's easy to manipulate children. God called you to do something. You went and made that children. Despite God told you not to fornicate or leave that man alone. And you did it anyways in your hand. But he still will make a way out of no way for you to raise that child. Okay. It don't make no sense. Because these females are going out here just being downright hustlers in the street. They got to have a guy and then come on, you get me and my children are a package deal. Okay, yeah, your children still going to be with you, but they still your responsibility. I don't know where this new generation get all this goofiness from. Back in the day, women act like ladies, and the men, when they gravitated towards them and had a relationship, they claimed the children and provided. Okay? But y'all children sitting up, it would be 3:00 in the morning, children still up. All out of their place. They drinking and getting high with the children. The children have no standards. They disrespectful to the extreme. And they got to be raised. Children not hardly eating. They have all this money on the EBT card. 2 weeks after that, the first 2 weeks, they have a lot of junk food and easy, ready-made food to eat. And after that, they don't have no food. They begging. Okay? Then you get with these men and think they should take on your children. But then don't want to put the baby daddies on child support. But then a lot of them don't know who their children's father really is. But God knows. And God is going to begin not only to deal with a lot of these females. That's why a lot of them, it ain't no more free rent. It's get out there and be an adult like everybody else had to be. Okay? God rewards good behavior. But a lot of you men, y'all going in doing strange things. strange things. And y'all know what I mean. And I am praying that every last one of y'all get caught. All of this physically beating a female, you're a grown man. Like I told my boys, all 11. If you having a problem with some female and y'all can't get along, y'all arguing, and it gets to the point you want to put your hands on her, you should just leave. She run and put her hands on you, go. I say, I'm quite sure you're going to outrun her. Hit that door and don't go back. When you go back, just go back to get your things and have some relatives with you. Maintain the peace, get your stuff and go. If you don't have no, put it in storage. Okay? But don't make no excuse to put your hand on the weaker vessel. Stand in the shoes of a man. You ain't got to be with nobody. So the excuse you turn around and say, well, I ain't going to let her do this and that. You don't have to let them do this and this. Just get up and leave. But see, a lot of y'all don't have y'all stuff together, so you want to make an excuse. Or you was raised in a household where daddy and mama boyfriends was fighting each other and all that kind of stuff, and you justify it. But no, sir, no, ma'am. God is putting a new thing in order. And he's going to start dealing you men on some ways that you won't even believe it, but you're going to know it's by his hand. It's time for you to grow up and become a man. A man do not put his hands on a female. I can see if you pushed her down so you can get away from her. Okay? But going down, swinging on a female like she a dude, but then when a dude want to say something to another dude, it's amazing how so many men have restraints. Most of y'all don't want to fight another man. But when it comes to a female, here y'all go. Y'all hot and ready. Temper overthrown. No. You was born a male. Most men are physically, 90% of men are physically stronger than a female and can endure more. Female muscles, they're made of fibrous tissues. They're much thinner and they're not as thick. Okay? They be torn. That female can be, have bruises all on the inside. That's somebody's daughter. And I know a lot of y'all have daughters, but y'all don't care a lot about y'all daughter because you don't know God gonna deal with y'all about a lot of that. See, it was a generation seemed like they didn't get disciplined for abandoning their children. But a lot of these females lie and say, this ain't your child. And know it be that man's child. A lot of them don't know because they've been out there. But yeah, even as men need to be more responsible and start putting a cap on that soldier. You don't want to have children everywhere. And then you want to say you're a king. A king do not make illegitimate children. The Most High God even said about children that's not obedient to him, haven't chose him. He called them an illegitimate child. And he used the other word in the Bible. So, and he wasn't going to deal with it. Okay? Why in the world do you think he's going to allow y'all this lawless to children? And he say, it's better to hang a milestone around your neck than hurt a hair on the head of a child. Now, a spanking is different from what I'm talking about, the level of abuse. And ain't nowhere in the Bible, God, he is against homosexuality. I tell people I agree with God, but I love my friends and family and people that may have that spirit, because everybody have a certain kind of demonic spirit on them that may go into operation. And we have to go through the process to be delivered. And that's one of them strongholds that is hard to be delivered from. Because when a person first starts saying you'll do to me and say, oh, he pretty like a woman, you need to stop them then and turn around and say the devil is a lie. I may be good looking, but I'm handsome. You need to stop people right there. Don't let people speak anything over you. Because I done seen people speak stuff like that over people's children. And I tell parents, you need to stop that. That's a little boy. That's a little girl. You cannot change their gender. They may be good looking. But if that's a boy, that's a boy. If that's a girl, that's a girl. You need to stop it. I mean, they used to have a habit of calling us girls when we was coming up tomboys. And I had to stop them. I said, yeah, I like to run, do a lot of things the fellas like to do. I like to play with trucks and stuff like that as a little girl. You know, that I really didn't get toys, but when I seen one run it through the mud and, you know, play with it. But I also made the mud pies too and did the little things, same thing little girls do. No, I cannot accept you calling me what I'm not. I even had a guy and he called me, okay, bro, stopped him so fast. And I said, let him, he's talk about everything. I never really got up into, he a grown man. I ain't got to check him like that. As long as he ain't cussing me out, calling me out my name. But when he called me, bro, I checked him so fast. I'm not a dude. And he tried to justify it and say, well, you know, that's just what people do. You know, I don't mean it like that. No, don't speak that over me. I am not a dude. And he had interest in me. So I was like, is he trying to say he gay? Because I'm not a man. So why would he even want to entertain calling me a dude? Bro. What you mean, bro? You guys need to stop speaking things over females that's masculine. Don't pay her no attention. She a dude. No. She may be gay. She may be a stud. But she is not a dude. I don't care what they do in their bedroom. She's still a female. And I tell all my friends that are men that are in that life, I tell them, I say, yeah, but you still a dude. You won't ever be a female. I'm not finna sit here and be lying, speaking stuff over you. You're a dude. And I tell them, man, this is my brother. And people be like, oh, no, that's your sister. No, he was born a male. I call him a dude. I call him by their name. Okay? Thomas, Marvin, Timothy. Okay? Brandon, Marcus. Okay? Samuel. They are men. That's their name. If they go get it changed to a unisex name, I call them by the name they say. But, you know, I tell them in a minute, but you still a dude. You just have an attraction of intimate interest in the same gender. But you ain't going to get me the line. And if they can't accept that, then our friendship end right there. I'm not going to talk perverse. And a lot of y'all need to stop it. Stop calling people what they are not. Men, God is going to start dealing with you in this generation like he ain't never dealt with a man before in a generation. Because your behavior is ridiculous. Now, if you ain't married to a woman, God has not obligated you to provide for that woman. When they come up telling you, me and my kids is a package deal, yeah, they still got to provide for them children. Those are not your children. Those are not your responsibility. God is not going to deal with you about it. You got one child by a woman, your child called you, say you hungry, just turn around and say, well, I'm going to come pick my child up and take them out to get them something to eat. Mm-hmm. You don't have to buy the whole house for no food. That's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to one child. And I know we feel sorry for the children and I tell dude, well, go get a real cheap pizza and let them all get a slice if that's how you feel. But no, go to the courts, petition against that mama. She got a house full of children and she do not have the funds to provide for all the children. I want to take my child on and even tell her she ain't got to pay me child support. I want to provide for my child and my child is going to eat. She's not capable of raising all of those children. That's it. That's all. And these courts got to do better. These judges want to award children to men just because they men. But the truth of it is these females are out there doing some strange things to these children as well, because it happened to me. And we know, okay, everybody that's in, I'm going to say 35 years of age and up, vast majority have been tampered with. Vast majority know strange things that happen and your mama guilty too and knew about it. And she ain't report nobody. She actually urged them on. Some of them took money for it. But that's neither here nor there. We are adults. We knew it was wrong when things was happening, and it's wrong that it's happening to children now. I don't even follow celebrities that they talk about allegedly done did things to children. I don't follow them. If they're part of them secret dark societies, I don't follow them. And I got family in there, a lot of family. I don't want their money. I am not trying to entertain them. And a lot of people say 50 Cent is savage. And I'm saying I thank God he is savage on them people, because that is horrible, the stuff they doing. I look at people that's part of the Beehive, and I tell you, I look at God, you should put judgment on all of them. Because just to go to one concert and see the demonic stuff that go on at the concert, it's too much. They don't want God. How do you want God and you entertain that stuff that go on with her? And it's not no hatred I have towards her, but I just look at people. I don't entertain demonic stuff like that. I can look at a scary movie, but guess what? Going to a concert and see you on the other side and all that little crazy stuff, baby, you not God. I don't admire you. You don't have influence over my life. The Most High do. You haven't made not one song that I feel is good enough that I will sit around and entertain that mess. And then to hear about the other stuff that allegedly done, and like I said, I got family in there, and people talk. Baby, ain't no way. Even the small stuff that you hear, ain't no way. Because you can always go in prayer and have it verified. Okay? But it's allegedly. But we know. We know a lot of stuff. And if you got to go to the devil to be a power couple, to become rich, I just look at you. God gonna judge your life, but I ain't gonna uphold you. That's horrible. It's horrible. I can't say who was eating unborn children and who was drinking the blood and unaliving people, a part of these rituals. But what I will say, that my God will let me know. He'll let me know. And I pray, God, I don't want to entertain them. I don't want no part of them. Your judgment need to be upon them. You said, suffer not the witch or the warlock to live. I mean, I'm just going to put the scripture to it. Light and darkness have no communion with one another. And if I get with someone, it's got to be so much chaos and so much demonic activity. You know what I tell them? Baby, we cool. You can go on with your life. I can go on with mine. This is not what I'm going to do. I don't do all that demonic stuff and demons. I don't like nobody to that point. You can be my child. You get to doing certain things. I'll be looking at you, babe. No. You keep that over there. I raised you better than that. Whatever you picked up as an adult, that's your business. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue to serve my God, the Most High. Jesus is my personal Savior. All that other stuff, I don't want to be bothered with. I don't want to hear that they initiated me into this and I was a child star and singer. When I was a child, I felt that stuff should have been investigated and them people should have been locked up. Okay? But it's not an excuse to grow up and do it. I have a great love for children, not an intimate love, because children cannot give consent over their bodies. And a child is not my image as an adult. You have to be an adult for me to talk to you. I don't care about these little young boys flirting. And when I say young boys, for me, under the age of 21. No, sir. You're not even legal if you're younger than that. But if it's two consenting adults, I don't have no problem with them. They can marry somebody 85, 95. And people talking about, oh, they just want them for their money. Well, that person that's 95, 85, if they don't have dementia or Alzheimer's, they know where they want their stuff to go. I don't care nothing about it. If they do what you do, you grown. It's just the biggest problem with that a lot of times is their grown children and grandchildren want their things for themselves and feel they have a sense of entitlement to it. But if you're not married to that person and that person is young and they married that older person and that older person marry them or go together and they choose to give them something in their relationship, so what? When you die, you can't take it with you. I don't care nothing about that. It's their things. They can make a decision. It's just like a lot of these people, their parents get 65 and they be ready to put them in a nursing home. And I be like, if they in their right mind can take care of them and there's services out here that people can come and help them along the way and they can go out and enjoy people, why are you putting them in a nursing home? I knew this woman, 81 years old. She got her a boyfriend. He was younger than her. And she was in her right mind and everything. Oh, you can't live by yourself. And she didn't have the funds though. But I looked at him, I said, if that dude you with want to put you in their home, then what's the problem? You in your right mind. You're not mental health. You're not lazy. You have more energy than these 30-year-olds. I know this woman I work for, 70 years old. Let me tell you something about that woman. That woman will go out here and work, clean the house, cook, almost 80 years old, function good. But I'm bringing this video to the end, and I'm going to say, stop supporting demonic activity. Stop operating in it. This video was made for the women, but God took it somewhere else. Be blessed. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye.